Hal, I don't know if this is an easy question for you to answer, but we'd be remiss if we didn't ask you about what's going on.
I don't have to answer it.
You don't. You definitely don't. What's going on across town with Steve and the money that the Mets are spending, and your thoughts on that? And does it get to a point where maybe it's not good for the game of baseball when this much money is being thrown around?
Well, I will say this. First of all, and I said this in March, it's great to have two great New York teams, and we're both going to be great this year. And we were great teams last year, just didn't work out for different reasons. I just think it's great for the city and great for the fans. I was joking with somebody previously that 10 years ago you'd always hear me say you shouldn't have to have a $200 million payroll to win a championship. Well, I've modified that slightly to you shouldn't have to have a $300 million payroll to win a championship, because most teams don't. The Astros didn't. I think it's something. I think it's something to be looked at. Another thing I said in March, which I truly believe, is every fan of every team. Nobody should have to go to spring training thinking their team has no chance of making the playoffs. I mean, that's just not good for the game. And that's why, all the owners have worked on competitive balance the last 10 years, and why I think competitive balance is considerably better than it was 10 or 15 years ago, if you look at the teams that are in the playoffs or that win their divisions.
If you want to look at the bright side of things, you got to admit the Mets basically spending $500 million with the taxes included is going to push Hal Steinbrenner and every single MLB owner to react a certain way, because it's essentially making everyone seem like a low market team. When you almost double the amount that you're spending compared to most MLB teams, even the big ones, then you're going to cause a rumble. Even Hal was asked about this, and it was something really interesting to see, but he handled it like a pro. And this is what he had to say. Look, Steve's put together a great team. We have a great team too, so it doesn't bother me. The timing is what it is. I'm focused on today. All I know is our Yankee fans are very excited today. The timing is sus, but at the end of the day, it's not really intentional. I mean, unless they really, really knew Correa was going to back out and they wanted to do it on this day. I mean, maybe. I mean, it could have waited a couple days for Cohen to finish the deal. It didn't have to be on that day, but it did happen the way it did. And I don't think it was anything intentional, but I'm sure Cohen is very happy that he kind of got one up on New York's team, And so he's making rumblings, and basically the Yankees are going to have that pressure to do something else. We can't look like the little guys here, right? We need to make a big move, and Hal has been promising that the Yankees are working on something big. And he probably knew already. He saw where it was going to lead, and he saw where Cohen was just going to keep on signing more and more players. So the Yankees are going to need to make a splash. So if you want to look at the bright side of things, that's a bright side. Hal is looking at working on something else. He's saying that we're not done yet. He wouldn't get into the specifics on what exactly that means, and we're all wondering. We thought maybe it could be a huge trade. Could it be Tatis? Tatis was seen going to New York. People go to New York. I mean, it could be maybe a BRYAN Reynolds. Could it be someone bigger? I mean, the possibilities when you talk about trades and rumors, it could be really any MLB player, but you got to be willing to do a huge trade and basically give up a bunch of prospects. And most of the Yankees' best prospects, if you want to get a really good player, you're going to have to give up a Volpe, a Peraza, some of those guys. But it all depends if the team that you're trading with actually wants those players. We saw the Washington Nationals say, nah, we don't want Volpe, Peraza. We want more. Those guys are cool, but we don't see them as number ones. And that brings me to the point where the Yankees are just stacked, just fully stacked with position players and not enough pitching. And a lot of teams value pitching more than position players. And that's the case with the Pittsburgh Pirates. A report has come out that literally the Yankees have been trying to get BRYAN Reynolds, but the Pirates value pitching and are searching for pitching and high quality pitching versus position players. Sources: Yankees among teams in contact with Pirates on BRYAN Reynolds over recent weeks. One obstacle to a trade is that Pittsburgh prefers starting pitching to headline the return, and top end of Yankees system is deeper in position players. With that alone, it goes to show you that the Yankees are trying to make that big move, and the big move is BRYAN Reynolds. I don't really see any other player out there that the Yankees are going to make a full-on force towards, where BRYAN Reynolds seems like the most, I guess in this case, based on this report, the most realistic. We need that extra hitter, and he can fill that gap. Now, will the Yankees pull it off? I don't know. I mean, the Pirates are already pushing back. They want starting pitching. The Yankees already gave up some good starting pitching out to the Oakland Athletics. For what? For Montas? So, like, we don't really have that many good pitchers. And the Pirates are going to ask for whatever they want. And they're not going to give it up because they have the leverage. And we always talk about leverage on this channel. And literally, the Pirates have it. And they have it full on out. They can ask for whatever they want. And I don't think they're going to be like, oh, I feel bad for the Yankees. Yeah, we'll give you this. No. Like, there's other teams that have starting pitching that will be glad to give them up. Now, will the Yankees do that? No, because I don't think they have the actual pitchers to make up for what exactly they're looking for. So BRYAN Reynolds as an option, I would say this trade is starting to look like it's not going to happen. And where could the Yankees possibly pivot? Because any other trade is going to take a lot of prospects. And didn't we just hear from Hal that, hey, he loves the prospects up the middle, and those are our top guys? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. We're going to give up those guys in order to get a Reynolds? If, let's say, the Pirates were like, yeah, we want Volpe, Peraza, like, then who's our future infield? We should have got a Correa then. And then we should have got, I don't know, like a Trey Turner then, if we're just going to do a huge trade and trade off some of these top guys. It just makes zero sense to me, and I feel like it's more like a panic mode of how, like, being like, holy crap, I didn't know Cohen was going to go this hard this offseason and blast everyone out of the water. Also, making Judge's captain announcement just seem like a second headline story besides Carlos Correa going to the Mets. And I'm sure that kind of hurt Hal's ego, and he's trying to figure out a way for the last few weeks, trying to figure out how exactly he can make this team better. But it's starting to look like that big move. I mean, we're not done yet, but I don't know if we're going to pull it off, to be honest. Let me know what you guys think down below, but BRYAN Reynolds to the Yankees on a trade, that's going to be really tough, especially since the Pirates, they're not looking for position players. They want pitching. Yankees don't got pitching like that. But Hal says we're not done yet. So, I mean, there's a little hope there that something massive could end up happening. So let's see what happens.
Now, a lot of people have said, Hal, and this isn't in a pejorative way, that Hal really channeled his dad this offseason. Do you think that this is something that your dad would have done?
Oh, there's no doubt he would have done it. Look, I think my family does that every offseason. I mean, you know, consistently we're amongst the highest payrolls in baseball. And when we have money come off the payroll, we do everything we can to put every dollar back into it again. And I think we got a pretty good track record with that.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.